Ready or Not is today's review. Now, I know what you're thinking. This must be a film adaptation of the 1993 through 1997 Canadian teen drama, Ready or Not. Well, you would be wrong. It's not. This is actually a horror film. It's from 2019 from Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, who went on to do the Scream requel, Scream 5, Scream, however you want to put it, Scream 2020, or 2022, or whenever the hell Scream came out. But this was the movie that I think kind of set up a certain tone and atmosphere that had whoever the powers that be were thinking, hey, these guys could do a Scream movie. And in watching this, I mean, you most likely agree, I think. What it is, really, I mean, it's a horror version of hide and seek. So that's kind of the concept they're working with here, and it's done pretty well. We have our main character Grace, who's played by Samara Weaving, who's getting married to the love of her life, and everything's going to be great because she's had kind of a rough upbringing, not really had a family. Now she's welcomed into this whole new family, and everything's going to be a perfect storybook happy ending, right? Well, maybe not so much. It seems that there are some terrible secrets that this family, which is we learn very quickly, is very well to do, very well off, and perhaps the reasoning behind this is there's a deal with the devil that has gone on, but those deals always come with a price, don't they? And really what the concept is on the wedding night of the bride and groom, the family has to play a game, and in a lot of circumstances it's an innocent game that is from their own kind of library legacy of board games, card games, things like that, because this is a family who built their entire fortune on these types of games. Going back to the kind of original patriarch of the family, who kind of made a deal with this strange, mysterious man, and kind of got all the wealth and fortune coming from that. But we find that the game this time around is hide and seek, which seems innocent enough, but the rules to this game is the bride has to hide and the family has to seek her. Not just seek her, but they gotta kill her. And if they don't kill her, something very bad's gonna happen to them. And that's the premise. It's not a bad one. It's a good movie working on a very simple kind of concept, and kind of working their own kind of satire into it, their own kind of tense scenes into it, gruesome scenes into it, good blood and gore, and shocking stuff that happens throughout. So I thought it was pretty well done. Kind of the funny thing, actually, because I had seen the movie. I watched it last year, but I watched it again this October, and just kind of coincidentally enough, just before having watched this again, I watched the docu-series House of Hammer, about Army Hammer and his whole dynasty, and the crazy horrible secrets behind that whole family, and I don't know, this movie, reevaluating it, almost seems tame by comparison to the Hammer legacy, but I don't know, just funny to me, I guess. But there's definitely that kind of satire there, where we have these rich types of families, these whole legacies that are built on shady origins, and the price they truly have to pay for that. So that's kind of what we're working with here. It's not so much tongue in cheek. It's out there, the satire, but it does a good job. And you can kind of as you view the family, we have great actors, Mark O'Brien playing the groom, and Adam Brody, his brother. He's very funny. Andy McDowell, matriarch of the family, basically. All really good in their roles. And we do kind of get the sense throughout this movie that kind of the members of the family who choose the outsiders to be welcomed to this family, they kind of seek them a certain type out. Those who did have rough upbringing, such as Grace, those who maybe don't have their own family, such as Grace, not just due to their isolation making them easier picks, I guess, but because maybe with their own kind of shady origins and their own disadvantages in life, maybe they are more susceptible, more agreeable to join this evil kind of family, right? So that's kind of what we're working with here. And yeah, the whole movie is a long played out version of hide and seek, where the family's looking for Grace, and they have their old like antiquated weapons. Like there's a crossbow. I won't give away anything with the crossbow, but it's really good. And we kind of have the servants throughout the whole mansion kind of working with the family, helping them out. I guess their pay's really good, or they're just really devoted in a weird kind of Alfred Batman kind of way. Who knows? But it becomes this ticking of the clock thing. It has to finish before a certain time. She wants to survive. The family wants to kill her. Pretty simple enough. But there's definitely some challenges along the way, and I really do have to say that Samara Weaving is the highlight. She really does. I mean, carry the whole movie. Nothing against the cast as a whole. They're great, but it's really her who we kind of put our investment in, and we have to kind of decide that we don't want them to win. Though kind of along the way, like in a weird way, you think to yourself, I could finish this game pretty easy. Here, just give me this gun, I'll kill her or whatever. I don't know, but. She puts up a good fight, and she's really good, kind of in, I guess she's the final girl without being preceding girls to her, if that makes any sense. So the whole movie is a final girl chase in a way. So that's also pretty interesting conceptually. She does a great job. Great set of lungs on this babe. I'm telling you, her screams are just great. I mean, I know that's kind of a weird kind of shallow thing, I guess, or what have you. But, I mean, really, if you have a character who's kind of like screaming throughout the film, there are certain actresses who can do it a little bit better than others, and more convincingly than others. And she has a great scream. No scream is really... no two screams are alike with her, I would say. There's a certain... rhythm and cadence to the screams that she bellows. So I was really impressed with that. Really impressed with kind of how hard they go to torture this poor girl throughout the movie. There's terrible things that happen to her, but she beats on relentlessly. She wants to win the day, and whether she does or not, I won't reveal. But I'll say with the ending is really good. Keeping in mind that this isn't necessarily a straight up 100% serious type of thriller. There's very clearly comedy implanted within just about every scene, within just about every character, within the whole situation, which is absurd when you really step back from it. But you get engrossed into it. But the ending is such a great payoff. It's so funny. And it's worth going through the movie a few times. Like watching again this time, I was just like anticipating that. I'm like, I hope it has the same effect as it did when it took me so off guard the first time watching it, and indeed it did. So that was great. Great to still have that effect in watching it again. So it's definitely a skillfully put together movie, and it has this stuff for the horror hounds. It has a little bit more in its satire, but it doesn't go over the top with the satire, which I think is an important thing, because it could have been really, sort of preachy about class differences and the evil of the rich family, which it hits on just enough that you get it, but it's not overbearing. You're able to kind of enjoy the real meat of this story and this concept, which is the elongated murderous hide and seek, which they do to excellent effect in the film. So highly recommended. If you have not seen this movie, again, I want to kind of keep from spoilers here, but very well done. And again, definitely when you look at this movie, you're like, yeah, these guys could do a Scream, and they did, and the rest is history, I guess. So, ready or not, that's my review. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're doing 31 Days of Horror here on the channel. Horror movie reviews all throughout October. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again soon, and until next time, stay scared.